I didn't care about money. I still don't care about money. But somehow, some way, I'm the one who gets hurt and left. Or like you said, let me see your bank accounts, pull up all your Tesla accounts. Let me see your stock, your this. There are so many Black men that have asked for my login information to see what I have versus helping me build what I got. And that is
Oof.
common amongst the men that I have chosen. Let's not put that on them. This is something within me. This goes back to something that I was choosing, something that was inside of me. We are a mirror. And so as a mirror, that is something that was going on. What was going on inside of me that I kept choosing this type of man that needs me to open up myself in that way? What it was competition. They weren't trying to see it because they wanted to increase it. They wanted to see it to compare. They want to see it so that they can flex or so that they can stay or whatever. I don't know why they want to see it. I don't care. But I've had too many men who were interested in me for my money or my connections and resources versus who I am as a woman.
Welcome to the Upfront podcast, where healing meets real talk on Black love. We're diving into why so many driven, self-aware singles are still searching for the one. From dating apps to deep therapy, emotional blocks to generational wisdom, we're bringing it all up front. You'll hear from psychologists, married couples, divorcees, influencers, all with no filters. If you're ready to heal first so you can love forever, this is your space. Let's get up front. Welcome back to the Upfront podcast. I'm your host, John Graham, founder and CEO of Upfront Marital Technologies Incorporated. And I am excited. We've got an exciting show today. We're doing things a little differently, and I think it's only fitting because the guest that I can't wait to introduce you to is, I don't even have the right adjective. I'll simply say that she is sensational. She's phenomenal, a force tremendous. I'll give you the background in just a second. But before we get into it, I have some announcements for y'all because I know a lot of y'all have been hitting us up and saying, when's the app coming? When's the app coming? And I know we've been saying end of summer. I promise you, we are actually only days away from the beta launch. And so the beta is coming out extremely soon. We're near the time of launch to our first 1,000 early access waitlist subscribers, which we have called our Vanguard 1000. Yes, the V1K. Those who are in the Vanguard 1000 already know because we've been communicating with them, and they have gotten the rundown on all the benefits of what it means to be in this exclusive community that raised their hands first, that believed in something that is not currently on the market, that has never been done before. And they were like, yes, I want to be a part of that. So yes. So the launch date cannot reveal yet, but I'll simply say we are days away. Also, for our Vanguard 1000, we are hosting some conversations, some community conversations called the Founder Circle, in which case it's a conversation with myself, members of the team, and other guests that we'll bring in to have some really small group conversations. It's about, up to 50 people, but it's a direct conversation where we're hearing your thoughts on the app as well as just the general topics that are of interest to you. Our first topic, for instance, is going to be focused on the challenges for in dating for successful Black professionals. But we'll cover other things like high vibrational dating experiences, meaning where do you meet high vibrational people and what is the environment that also is high vibrational that makes meeting that person more likely. We'll also talk about the app and its experiences, obviously, but then ultimately, really we'll see where the community wants to take it as far as the convos go. What else? What else? We've got live streaming coming up. So we're going to start doing some YouTube live streams, which I'm excited about because I know we have been communicating through this one-way medium, and I'm introducing, brilliant people who have some really dope perspectives. but I want to give you a shot, a chance to engage in real time. Some of the topics that we're talking about, I mean, are ripe for discussion, and I think live streaming will be a great way for us to engage directly. So look out for the announcements of that. And the only way you're going to find out about those is if you have signed up for the wait list. And so if you haven't done that yet for some reason, your phone was broke, Mercury was in retrograde, you didn't pay the bill, whatever, you can now go to upfront.love and you can still sign up for waitlist access. You're not going to be part of the Vanguard 1000. That ship has sailed, those doors are closed. However, we still want to bring you into the community before launch, and we'll have some things in store for y'all as well. But one of those is firsthand knowledge of when we're going live, what channels we're going live on, and uh, just access to some really cool conversations that you can be a part of in real time. Lastly, we've got our married couple mentorship session. So as you've heard in some of my posts and interviews, we have what's called the mentorship district. Now, if you're not familiar with that, effectively, we are bridging the gap between those who are in successful, healthy, long-term, and sustainable relationships, i.e., marriage, and have been so for over 7 years or more. And so we'll be bringing them into conversation and community to really demystify what it takes and what they've gone through and what their experiences have been to really help sustain their marriages so as to inform and debunk, demystify, and just put to bed some of the myths and the bullshit around what it takes to really do life with somebody for those who are aspiring spouses. So we look forward to having those conversations. Those will be invite only at first. And then we might even do some of these in live stream. So stay tuned for that. We got a lot of stuff going on, a lot of stuff coming. We appreciate your patience. I know that this is exciting. We're excited. The team is beyond excited. I'm sitting here nervous on pins and needles because we're so close to launch. And I just really want this experience to be everything that one, I envisioned it to be for y'all, but ultimately I want it to have the impact that we believe it can for your pursuits of a happy and a healthy marriage. So, with that stated, I'll just simply remind you if you haven't yet, get over to upfront.love. That's upfront.love and sign up for the wait list. If you're not on there, tell a friend to tell a friend, especially the self aware friend who you think is ready to do the work in that 30-day healing district journey before they get access to love. All right. Without further ado, I would like to introduce today's guest, who is a visionary leader, a dynamic strategist whose journey spans corporate finance, media, philanthropy, and investing. Dr. Omai Kofi walked away from a six-figure career to raise over $110 million for productions and campaigns with brands like Verizon, NBC, BET, and Coca-Cola, while also championing social justice reform. Financial literacy and women entrepreneurs. She has been an advocate for many. She's the founder of the Board of Literacy, creator of the Community Economic Opportunity Initiative, and a trailblazer whose work has been celebrated by the U.S. Department of Labor and countless others. An exquisite member of the Perfect Zodiac Club, a fellow Virgo, Dr. Coffee is also the proud owner of a Tesla Model X, which means even her car is smarter than most. Known for her ability to connect leaders, to mobilize capital, and build legacy, she embodies her own philosophy that wealth is a team sport. I want y'all to make her feel extremely welcome. Put your hands together, put your fingers together, put your energy together for Dr. Omai Coffee. So look, Doc, we got you on the Upfront podcast. Welcome. Um, I will start by saying thank you for the conversation we're about to have, but I want you to give just a little bit of backstory because, look, your bio is tremendous. You've done a lot in a very short life. You've worn many hats, from corporate to modeling to philanthropy and investing. But I just want to get a look back before all of the accolades and who was Dr. Omai before she was doctor. She was just Omai coming up. What was the chase, the hunt for success looking like before you achieved it?
Well, you know what's funny? I always considered that just being was important. And so I was never really a child that chased success or a person even now that chased success and accolades. I just knew that if I was going to do it, I wanted to excel. And so I was the child that sat with the teachers. I was the child that was never in class. I was the child that everybody asked to go ask the adults because I was able to communicate with the adults a little bit differently. And I just became what people will call the teacher's pet. I got voted class flirt in in my high school. Um, and that's simply because I was nice to people and I made people feel like they were special and important. And I'm like, that's called a soft skill. I'm gifted and talented at soft skills. And I think having a mother that was very, 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 very strict, very mean, in my opinion, and dealing with mean teachers, because back in the day, teachers could spank you. Back in the day, teachers could discipline you. And back in the days, obviously, people were coming out of, Jim Crow and they were coming out of civil rights. And so they were a little bit more sturdy, if you will, and thick. They weren't laughing as much. And so I'll tell a story that kinds of gives a little bit about me and how I became successful, in my opinion, in reference to how it is today. So there was a teacher named Mrs. Archer, and Mrs. Archer, she was our eighth grade, I forget which teacher, I want to say social studies or something like that. And she used to sit me outside the classroom. And she would sit me outside of the classroom because I smiled a lot, because I was always happy. And she couldn't stand it, and I love smiling. I have a multi-trillion-dollar smile, and it has been my saving grace. It is God-given, and I love it. I love to smile, especially when you piss me off.
Ah,
Especially when I'm mad, you hear me? But
mm,
nevertheless, I was always smiling, and she would always sit me outside the room because she wanted me to know you're not special, and that was in the 8th grade. By the time, John, I got to ninth grade, Mrs. Archer was dead.
my. Oh, do we know what happened?
Nah, but that's when I recognized that I
Karma?
had a superpower. That's when I recognized I had a superpower, and it wasn't because Miss Archer had passed away, it was because I never stopped smiling.
Hmm. Killing with kindness is real, y'all.
And continue to be yourself regardless of how people treat you. People could treat you well, people could love on you. I've had people look me in my eyes with tears in their eyes, loving on me, giving me their left lung, and 20 seconds later, they were doing it to somebody else. I mean, it's like people can even love it could be positive, it doesn't have to be negative. I still had to be who I was, and I never stopped smiling.
I know that's right. That's a powerful story for real. 8th grade, they were already hating.
It started way earlier
It
than that.
started early.
That's my one of my largest stories. That story happened a lot throughout my life with different people. And I would
Mm.
tell people, touch not my anointed to do my prophets no harm is not just something that we quote in the Bible. I've seen that literal death. I've literally dealt with people that were nasty to me, and within a day or so, they had passed away. I thought it was some type of like weird situation. So I always tell people be very careful with people, not on my. I don't take it like, oh, it's me, because I know it's not me. That person may have been ill or sick or something like that. And maybe I was just their last straw. I don't know. But even on the good side, be careful how you treat people because it will always, always, always come back to you. And that's why like I said, I love to be happy. I like to smile.
Oh, that's right.
So there's my
That's
success story.
wisdom. Already dropping jewelry, y'all.
You're so funny. Not jewelry king.
And gems too. Um, so where did you grow up?
Grew up in California, Arizona, and Texas. So what had happened was my mom moved a lot. You would have thought everybody's like, "Are you a military brat?" And I'm like, "It feels that way."
Right.
So we moved a lot. So I grew up, and I would say a third and a third of all those places. So between Torrance, California, Phoenix, Arizona, and Austin, Texas, that I would say that that's my rearing and upbringing. The most that I've could think of. And then for a stint, we were outside of Austin, Texas in Blanco with my father. And so my stepfather. Um, who we just found out is my stepfather, not my father. But anyway,
Oh, oh
we
my.
the stories, but we grew up between Texas, Cali, and obviously for Arizona.
Okay. Which y'all, this is hilarious. So we found all of this stuff out as we're out celebrating Omai's birthday.
Hey,
And she says,
girls.
we're doing the origin stories, and she tells me California, Arizona, Texas. And I said, that's wild because I was born in Phoenix. I moved to Dallas after my parents divorced when I was 5. So I think we left Arizona at 7, moved to Dallas, lived in Carrollton for a few. This is in the 80s. And then there was a series of moves, but Louisiana, Maryland, Pennsylvania, Jersey, Michigan, California, and then back to Philly for undergrad. So just the
Wow.
right, and then after that, California, then back to Dallas. So it's just back to Texas. So the parallels are wild. Not only that, our birthdays being 2 days
We're 2 days
apart from each
apart.
other. Yeah, yeah. So
Yes.
so
Yeah,
the universal alignment in stories are unbelievable. But
absolutely.
so okay, which what did so siblings or are you an
One
only?
sibling, one
Okay,
sister. She's
okay.
older, but she calls me her little big sister because I'm amazing.
That's I'm a whole lot of sister. Yeah, I got you. That's that.
Yeah,
Right
I'm the
on.
fire. She's definitely the cold ice, and you don't wanna touch that. Ice can burn too, you hear me?
Oof.
But, I'm definitely the fire of the 2 of us, and she's actually a fire sign, which is funny.
Yeah, and you're a whole earth sign, so that's interesting.
Very.
Interesting. Okay. All right. And so I guess what was the biggest influence for you in terms of moving? Because I know when you move at a young age, you have to adapt and develop skills. But what do you think that did for you on your journey that you still use today?
Well, I love moving because I love new things. I mean, I believe strongly in the power of Jabez and the prayer of Jabez. And Jabez simply states that, listen, my name meant pain. My mother was in pain, but I'm gonna need my name change. And so in that, I'm gonna do that through my character and through the willpower of the hand of God. And so expansion is a very large aspect of how we even come to be. We have trillions of ancestors. You feel me? So it's like we have trillions, billions, billions of people came together to create the one us. And so to me, moving was like me being able to expand and enlarge my borders and change. So I just made a journey of it. It's like it's a part of my story. It's something that I'm not going to see as a negative. Everywhere we went, I made friends, made the best of friends, and because of that, I learned a lot more about myself and other people. And I believe that your journey of self discovery is extremely valid and valuable to you throughout your life. And each move just represented another aspect of something that I was expanding into. So now when I have to travel for speaking engagements across the pond and or stateside, it's nothing to me to do it because it's something that was a part of my journey growing up. And it also gives me the ability to relate differently to people. I'm not boxed in. I don't feel like rep your city. I rep the world. I rep the planet.
Whole citizen. Yeah.
I feel and operate like a global citizen. And I think that that's very empowering. And I know that that was God's plan. And so I don't argue with God. I stopped. Let me be clear because let me be
You
very
tried.
clear. I've argued
She
with God a
tried.
lot,
Yeah, that didn't work
but
out so
I
well, did
do
it?
not do it as much often as I used to, put it that way.
There you go. Well, I think with age comes wisdom. And
Absolutely.
if
Sometimes, because
I was about
it's some old fools
to
out this way.
say, who are like, you know what? I'm gonna do it my way. I'll show you, God. And God's just like, all right,
Right.
hold my beer. Um, I love the journey, for sure. And I think a lot of times you get asked primarily about your professional journey, but not necessarily the things that developed you at your core, or at least unlocked who you were innately and inherently designed to be. So I want to get a little bit more into that. We'll get to the money. We'll get to that in a minute, right? But when it comes to listen, the Upfront podcast is about being upfront, especially around matters of the heart, love. um, success in love, learnings in love, and things of that nature. Yeah, absolutely. So I want to dig a little bit into that. So current status is
I'm between relationships. I'm just
okay.
like, I heard that one time. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? I'm single. I am intentionally single. I'm in between
Why are we
relationships.
playing?
Girl, you ain't got no man. I
Call it
I
what it
am
is.
without men. I wrote a book called I Have No Husband, based off of the scriptural reference where you have 5 husbands. I've had a lot of husbands. John, I have been engaged, proposed to, excuse me, let me be very clear. I've been proposed to 8 times. That means I'm quality. That's all.
My
I hear you,
God.
brothers.
My
I hear
God.
y'all. I hear y'all. Y'all knew what it was, but I have been engaged 8 times, and I took it as a badge of honor um for a minute, and then I started thinking about that scripture, and I started to understand, like you said, with age and time and experience come wisdom. And so I started to understand, like, is this a curse? Like, what's going on? And God had to work with me on that. So my status is that I am a wife in waiting.
Oh,
I'm
oh,
so cute. I'm
I'm
so
adding that
cute,
to the
bro. I'm so
lexicon.
cute.
That's fire. Okay. A
Bro,
wife
I'm
in
so
waiting.
cute.
Get it.
I'm a wife in waiting, and that's okay. But I have intentionally been single since around November of last year. So coming up November 4th, I can say that I've been single, intentional, not regretting it, not hating it, not mad, not in a whole phase. I'm not out here trying to see what's next. I'm not trying to spread my, wings or any of that. I just literally chose to be single, which is very tough, John, because I
Mm.
was the woman that had the man carrying the box out for the other man as they were crossing paths, saying, "Oh, you're okay. Yeah, can you get my shoes?" And he's like, "Yeah, yeah, can you get that box out the garage?" And he's like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, can you get my clothes out the closet?" They were passing each other. I've never been single. So for me, as
Yeah.
a woman like me, to say that I'm single, it is a empowering thing. And I thought it was horrible. I thought it was terrible because it's you're not married yet? What's wrong with you? Why are you single? What, you couldn't find a man? Oh, it didn't work out for you? Oh, you're still single? You don't have a husband? What's going on? Weren't you with that guy for 5 years or 2 years or whatever the case may be? And they start to like act like it's like the way it's supposed to go, as if there's not other extenuating circumstances. There's so many circumstances around the nuances around relationships of just self, less than only a relationship with a whole nother entity. Like, come on. So I saw singleness as something to be something regrettable, something reprehensible, something that wasn't supposed to be, especially being a Black woman. I didn't want to be a statistic because I'm like a millionaire in these streets and I'm not about to be a statistic. And if I was a statistic, I'm an overcomer because I'm the head and not the tail. Stuff like that. Just all the crap, John. And so being a wife in waiting for me was me changing the narrative of my own story, not in competition with society.
Mm. I have so many questions, and I mean, immediately I thought Oprah when we talk
The
about
other O. They call me
the
the other O.
other
Yeah, when I'm
O.
around Oprah, I'm the other O.
You the other O. I love that. I love that. Well, look, let's talk about it because this stigma of singlehood, right?
Ooh.
Let's unpack that. When did this notion flip for you that you know what? No, this is actually something I need and I'm going to lean into versus trying to chase this aesthetic or expectation that's being put on me by society. What was the
Well,
unlock for you?
figuring out, John, that I'm 50 years from 100. I don't have a
No,
lot of
you
time
not.
left.
You
I don't
you,
have a lot I don't have a lot of time left, right? Let's be
well,
very clear. I'm
yeah.
53 years specifically from 100 years old. Specifically, I'm 53
Mm,
years from 100 years old.
yeah.
And in our community, and when I say our community, I mean the American community. So every time I say our, don't be like Black. Don't even go there. When I say our, typically I'm going to be talking about America as a whole. We live to about 70. Okay? So time is ticking. And so to me, yes, I do believe that earlier on in your life, you find the love of your life, if that's your life path, and you get married and you settle down and or have children or whatever the case may be, if that's going to happen, I think there is a ticking time, a ticking clock, a biological clock that is ticking. I do believe in that. So I think some of the stigma comes from that. But what was pivotal for me was, if I don't change this pattern, and if I don't stop going down that particular pathway of bumping my head in relationships, partnerships, business, definitely in my personal life, this pattern is going to persist. And I am the only person that can change it. It's not a they. It's not mom and them. It's not any and them. It's not what I saw on television. It's not who I used to date. Something in me needed to shift. And so I just literally looked at my story. I wrote it down and I said, I told you I've been proposed to 8 times. Every time was a strange circumstance. So I was looking at who I was during the time frames that I met these gentlemen, right? So I started seeing the correlation. Then I started looking at their patterns. A lot of them had the same story, and I'm like, you know, mm, weird. And then
Right.
I had a high level of discernment, but I didn't discriminate. And I chose who chose me versus me understanding who I was and choosing myself. And so because I chose who chose me, uh I can't say I fell for the okey doke, but what I can say is that I was not living out my best life in my relationships. And so, because of that, I'm putting the accountability on myself and not these gentlemen. They were just who God chose to show me who I was. And so, I don't blame them for anything. And I don't look back and say, oh, I shoulda, woulda, coulda. My shoulda, woulda, coulda is empowerment. So now I do what I shoulda, woulda, coulda. And I just start looking and going in within self and stop living externally, but I do live esoterically within myself.
Mm,
Yeah.
absolutely. I, so 8 times.
Yes. Or more, but definitely 8 times that I can, like, sit up here and just seriously go down the whole engagement. You know what I'm saying? Like the balloons and the airports and the things that they did. I can 8.
Oh,
Yes.
wow. All right. So out of the
Yeah.
8, what
Mhm.
was the most elaborate proposal?
The one where the gentleman said, "You know you're my wife, right?"
That's a good lead off. And what was the content? What's the setting? I mean, set up the scene for me.
He just came up to me and said that. I didn't know who he was. I didn't know
Wait,
the man from
first
a can of
meeting?
paint.
Bruh. That
You're laughing.
that's either
That's the most elaborate because I don't know you, but I became that man's wife. And so this is the power of manifestation. This is the power of persistence. This is the power of transformation, the power of metamorphosis. This is the power of biology, science, psychology. This is the pathology. This is how you really get stuff done. Dude knew what he was talking about because I didn't know him. He
whoa.
knew.
Whoa, okay. So you weren't creeped out by that. It wasn't, like,
Not at
cringeworthy.
all.
You were like,
Not at all.
"Okay, I'm
Because I'm a
intrigued. Tell me more."
once you've accepted your lot in life, I don't think too much can creep you out. If I keep on
Mm.
saying, "Hey, billionaire John, what's up, billionaire?" and you identify like that, it won't be a saying. It'll be just
It'd
like, "Oh
just
yeah,
be a
what's up?"
thing.
Yeah, or
Yep.
hey genius, and I just walk up to, and that's how I perceive you, and you also identify with it. No, it's not gonna creep you out. He wasn't disrespectful. He didn't do anything wrong. He just said, "Hey, you're my wife." That was it. And then he did not introduce himself. He began to take me by the hand and show me how I was his wife through his actions. And hey, everybody, this is my wife. And and he was just introducing me. He never introduced me otherwise from day one.
Wow. Wow.
So that had to
Wow.
have been the most elaborate of engagements.
Yeah, so I can imagine there was a courtship there after he claimed.
Absolutely. 3
Eh,
years, yeah.
3 years.
Yeah.
Okay, got you. And then how did he pop the question? When did he
Um,
when did he break
no,
that knee?
it wasn't no popping, no question. See, this is what I
Okay,
think
okay.
you see what I'm saying? I think society has this ideal of how things go. This gentleman wasn't popping nothing. He said what he said. But how we
Damn.
got to the altar was, God told me to go on a fast. And I wanted to go on this fast that was gonna be 40 days. This was in February. February 1st, I started the fast. By February the 10th, he reached out to me, and I told him, I was like, "Bro, like, I'm fasting. What's up? He was like, I don't want to cheat. I don't want to be out here with these other women. I don't want to lose my wife. I don't, he just got to fuss. And you talk about a big old 6'6" man crying and fussing about his whole woman. I'm like, bro, I'm fasting like for us too, right? Like we're in ministry. We're doing stuff. At that time I was at the Potter's Institute. That's what it was called back then. And so like we're in ministry. We're wanting to be ministers. Like we're good. Like let me fast. Like let me cook, right? And so he was like, no, no, I don't feel comfortable. I don't feel right. This is not right. And, John, I broke my fast, which is a whole other lesson, by the way. I broke my fast and I said, cool. What's up? Like, what's the pressure? And he's like, I want to get married. And I'm like, you just have this whole revelation. We got to do it today. We got to do it today. He's like, yeah, we got to do it right now. And I'm like, is this a vision? Is God speaking to you? Like, bro, I'm still trying to fast. So we met with a couple that he trusted, that he knew, that was married for I want to say about 15 years or so. And I love this couple. He loved this couple. And we sat down with them and they said, hey, once y'all do this, you can't go back. If this is what you really want to do, we'll pray with you, blah, blah, blah. Here's some this, here's some that. Some type of little session we had with them for a few hours. And the next day, we went to the courthouse and it was closed. It was like Valentine's Day. That was the 14th. And then by February 18th, my Aunt Joyce's birthday, we were at the courthouse and got married. Like it was that. There was no rhyme or reason in reference to, there was no, all that fairy tale stuff didn't work with this guy, right?
Mm.
And I understood it a little bit and better now, but I broke that fast and that really was wrong. And I was really like, in this process of getting to know God better, and I should not have done that. Now, me and that gentleman, we went on, we got married. I believe that still now we would still be married. He just had some manhood things that he was going through in reference to
Mm.
how he decided to live his life. So we got a divorce. 7 years later, we got back together. Yep.
Plot
And
twist.
so yep, he was 7 years later, we got back together. It was as if nothing had ever happened. By this time, he has a new child, bring that child into my home, and everything's fine. I have a new child as well. I've been married again, and I have a new child as well. And we get back together, but he still had some of those street habits that he had prior to. And I'm like, bro, we can't have that in the house. And I'm not the same woman I was 7 years ago. So there's a lot of non-submissive things I'm going to do to those type of things that the lifestyle that you're trying to live. We don't need to live like that. Like we're fine financially, and anything we want, we're going to get anyway through the power of God. And also like there's the God thing, right? Like we're not doing anything illegal. And dude brought counterfeit money in my house and I watched Trap
Oh,
Queens. I watched
oh,
Trap Queens like my life depended on it because 100% of every woman on the shows I saw on there, and maybe I missed some, but the ones I saw, 100% of every one of those women went to prison behind some relationship with some man. Some man introduced them to the AKA lifestyle. Some man was behind why they got into it, whether it be a brother, a spouse, a lover, a boss, or something. Some guy was the reason on why they started down that trend
mm.
and then went into prison. And that dude brought counterfeit money in my house. Now, somebody gave it to him. Don't get it twisted. Someone gave him
Yeah.
counterfeit money. But that was like my breaking point. And I was like, I can't do this.
Mm.
And so that's when I ended that. But other than that, we'd be together. My point is, I would have stayed there if those habits didn't persist. And we're not just marrying people, we're marrying their relatives, their habits, their demons, their angels. We're marrying all of them.
All of
And that
that.
wasn't something that I wanted to bring into my new life with my new child, my new me.
Right on. So that was that like the last one, or was that like in the middle? What number was that? Uh,
Oh,
uh,
that was the first
proposal.
husband. That
Oh,
was
that
the
was
first
first
husband.
husband.
Second proposal. No,
All right.
third
Damn.
proposal. Third proposal, first husband, okay. First proposal was a hard no.
You said no in the moment. Like, nah, bro, I can't do
You
it.
got you got legions of
Ooh,
demons in you. The
yikes.
second one was a yes to the engagement. That ended. Then
Okay.
he was the first accepted proposal, accepted marriage. So he was number
Got it.
3.
Okay.
Technically number 3. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Third time's a
Okay.
charm.
Listen, so I can imagine you learned a ton about yourself through that
Yes.
process. Yeah.
Yes.
Um, let's move forward a bit. You you're going through all of this, right? Because there's none of these things are happening in isolation, right? Your love life, your relationships are happening, but also your career is expanding, right?
Oh, that's why we broke up too.
Oh,
So
oh,
let's
say
talk about
more.
money.
Let's talk about
Let's
money.
get
Let's
to the
get to the
bread.
money. To the
So we're
money.
at the Potter's House offered couples an opportunity to have therapy on a donation basis. If you can pay, pay. There's a fee, pay. But if you can't pay, you can donate $5, $2, $1 corn, right? It didn't matter. Just come in here and get this counseling. When we were in one of our sessions, because now I have some experience, I've been married twice at this point, I've been divorced twice at this point. Him and I are kind of coming back and getting to know each other at this point. I'm a new person, he's a new person in some ways. So we are going through the counseling. We're doing it, AKA the right way this time. And compatibility, we had some sense there. It was like 50% compatible, which we knew had a lot to do with background and the way we were raised. So his father was a pastor. So PK's, you know, Jesus.
Mm,
Anyway,
yep. Yep.
yeah, we're gonna go way away from that. But back to the point. The point of the matter was we were in the counseling session and Dr. L was like, so talk to me about economics and finance, right? And I'm telling her whatever I told her, she kind of grasped it. He told her his portion, she grasped it. And then he turned and looked at her and was like, she was like, what's the, I feel like there's some tension with the money part. Like, what's going on with the money part? And he said, she's too busy trying to become a billionaire. She looked down at her little notes. Dr. L said, that's
This
your
ain't gonna work.
problem with her? And he was like, yeah, she's so ambitious or whatever he said. And she's so focused on becoming a billionaire. Like, I need her to be my wife. And she said, oh, yeah, this ain't going to work. She packed up everything. She said, yeah, these sessions are over. I said, well, we have about 30 minutes. She said, no, no, no. When I say over, I mean, don't come back here. Y'all ain't going to make it. I said, Dr. L, you're not supposed
Whoa.
to tell couples that kind of stuff. She said, I'm telling you to your face, you're not going to make it. It's not going to work.
Man, she helped y'all dodge the bullet.
That was the last session and about the last time that him and I had that. Shortly after was the counterfeit money situation. But it's so sad for him, right? Like it wasn't the worst thing. I lost about a $5 million deal. $5 million of my money is still tied up with the FBI right now as we speak because of some people he knew that he introduced me to, and they got caught up. And so since they got caught up and my money was tied into there, my money is still with the FBI today. That was 2016. So who wants to deal with that?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think that's
How is
coming
that
back.
going to work? So when we start talking about money and finances, to me, money is extremely spiritual. It's an energy, and when you're around the wrong energies and you mix your money in with that, there goes your money as well. So economics is a very powerful way to gauge a relationship. I don't care what people say. Spirituality first and foremost, emotions and mentality second and third, and then your economics is right. They're all right there. They're in the same boat. And so economically, we were two totally different people.
Yeah, that's not gonna work. Especially considering that finances are,
And men do
by and
not like
large,
women with money. Not y'all. I won't say y'all. I'm not gonna do you like that, Brother John.
some men don't
A
like
lot
women with
of
money.
black males, let me be very specific. A lot of black men do not like the fact that I'm a millionaire. They do not.
Why is that?
I don't know. They like the idea. They like to be able to kind of grasp it, but they absolutely do not like it at all. They think I think I'm suchy much. They think I think something about myself. They feel some kind of way, ego, pride. I don't care. Hell no.
Mm,
Broke men cannot do. And I have been so non-discriminatory.
sure. Okay.
I have dated people who have been to prison. I have dated people that had regular blue collar jobs. I have dated people that had no intention of doing anything greater than maybe going to work and coming home and taking care of their families. I have dated men with money. I have dated and I have dated. And I will tell you right now, a lot of women don't like when women have more money than they do, less than only a man. And then I've met a lot of men who want to be taken care of. And that's why I got off Facebook for a year last year. I just got back on Facebook just now, and I got off of all social media because a lot of men would see kind of like, oh, she does this, she does that, and then come after me for my money. And they expect me to unleash my money because the Bible says, or because the pastor says, or because religion says, or because society says that a woman should submit to a man. He's the head of the household, no matter his finances, no matter who he is, he's the man, submit to him. And if you're making more money than him, A, B, C, and D, that if it was a fifth, if it was a fifth. And instead of them learning from me how I did what I did, just like I learned how to do it, so can you, they would rather either take or pull me back or pull me down. So if you don't have money, if you don't make an excess of seven figures, Dr. O is a hard hell no.
To the no. That's fascinating. So, and I'm playing coy here, right? Obviously, there is the reality that a lot of men do not like to not be the breadwinner, right? There's an attachment to our masculinity and our finances or capability of providing. Fine. However, there are some dynamics where the woman is the breadwinner in the relationship. The man is cool with that. He provides in other ways. They still honor each other's roles in the relationship. It can work. Not not the majority of relationships that work that way. However, I think when you are doing well financially, and then you add another layer with the religious beliefs, right? And so, from a Christian principle, and if we're going to live these principles, then I'm gonna need you to submit. That means give me them bank account codes, and right that I think obviously would pose a problem for you because like you weren't in the gym shooting jump shots, bruh. Like you weren't here with me when I made this bread. So why do I need to just give this to you? And you have not showcased or demonstrated the capability to increase this money because you ain't got to where I'm at in the first place. I can see where that would mess things up. However, when or whom would you be submissive to? Being that you are at a high net worth,
Well, see, that's
and
the thing. I
most of
was
the
submissive.
brothers,
Go ahead. Sorry,
so
King.
most of the brothers, I mean, look, you're talking about what, less than 10% that make over 100,000 that are eligible, non-incarcerated, hetero, not married, no kids, right? Um, well, I had kids in there, but 10%. If we're talking about, you know, 300 to a million, that's less than 1% of black men. So
Yeah, but that's the thing. My first six boyfriends were Caucasian because black men didn't pay me any attention. Let's be clear, a lot of
that's
reasons
dope.
why black women are unmarried right now is because they don't date outside their race, because they're true to the codes of their color versus true to the codes of their economic spirituality, their mentality, their education, and their mindset. And so we don't look outside of, aka some of us don't look outside of American black men. There are black men all over this world, including Australia and China and Japan and so many places. If you want a black man, there are other black men besides American black men. That's number one. Number two, we don't date outside our race. We're not chosen because we don't express that we're interested in other races and cultures. They eat us up fast and quick. If they knew we wanted them, we'd be chosen, picked, married, and we'd have a bunch of mixed babies running around here. But but let me be very clear. That's only
Uh-huh.
in certain areas. So I didn't care about money. I still don't care about money. But somehow, some way, I'm the one who gets hurt and left. Or like you said, let me see your bank accounts. Pull up all your Tesla accounts. Let me see your stock, your this. There are so many black men that have asked for my login information to see what I have versus helping me build what I got. And that is common amongst the men that I have chosen. Let's not put that on them. This is something within me. This goes back to something that I was choosing, something that was inside of me. We are a mirror. And so as a mirror, that is something that was going on. What was going on inside of me that I kept choosing this type of man that needs me to open up myself in that way? What it was competition. They weren't trying to see it because they wanted to increase it. They wanted to see it to compare. They want to see it so that they can flex or so that they can stay or whatever. I don't know why they want to see it. I don't care. But I've had too many men who were interested in me for my money or my connections and resources versus who I am as a woman. And so
Mm,
that's why I can't do it. I can't do it because it hasn't worked. Now,
yeah.
would I have, who would I submit to? I submitted to all of them. I submitted to, it was never no, oh, I'm not in the mood for sex. I was always in the mood for sex with my husband. That's my spouse. Are you crazy? Your body's my body is my body all over your body. You hear me? We linked. You shout out to Link. Love you.
Come
But
on
my
now.
thing is this, what's not going to happen is that continuum of that story and me victimizing myself when I'm not a victim. I was choosing incorrectly for myself. So I submitted to everybody. So what type of man I would submit to is a man that's my man, who's not concerned with those things. And I've met your multimillionaires and billionaires. I fly billionaires and millionaires into the city of Dallas. I've been doing that since 2011. And not one of them have asked to see my bank accounts. Not one of them care about my money. Now, obviously, they're not AKA people that I'm dating also. So I don't know how that dynamic would change, but I have yet to meet someone of status, woman or man, ask me about my money, where I got it from, where it came from. They either already knew or they helped me get more. It's really that simple.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. There's something I want to point out in that last drop of jewelry. There was a moment of accountability that you flex, and you and I have spoken about this, and it is refreshing and rare to hear the level of accountability. Right? You did not blame the men for your choices and how you picked.
But yeah, no. Mm-mm.
That seems right insignificant, but that is like finding vibranium out in this mug from what I hear. Like we we gonna see vibranium before we see
What?
accountability. Listen, Wakanda forever. So let's talk about that because I can imagine that was not like default. Oh my, right? Like no, it's something wrong with everybody else. You had to get to that point of accountability through growth, maybe through healing. How are you here? And what's your message to sisters who keep pointing fingers?
They're sick. They're
Oof.
sick. You're sick in the head, sick in the heart, and you're sick in your gut if you don't ever take the power that God has given you. We are more than a creation. We are actual, literally, John chapter 10 and 34 gods. Are you not gods, right? The question asking, are we gods, is like, are you going to step up to the plate? Are you going to start to live your God given journey? Your gift will make room for you and bring you before great men. There's a power in you being you, right? Like we stated, you have trillions of ancestors that created the one version of yourself. There's not a replica. You can be a twin, a triplet, a quadruplet, not one replica on earth of you specifically. And so early on, I was always accountable. Mom, I did it. Who burnt the me? Me, I did it. I've always been that person. Now, to grow into the accountability of not blaming my exes or spouses, I started to notice the patterns. And if the patterns are patterns and I'm the common denominator, then I have to correct something in myself. I don't try to change the world, John. I change me and my world changes. And it's real simple to figure that out. Reading The Power of Your Subconscious Mind, studying Neville Gardner, who studied from an Ethiopian man, studying your Bible alone for real, for real. See, I had the Bible. I went to seminary, so I had the Bible that the world doesn't have also. So that's another story. Basically, the closed canons and things of that nature, the Ethiopian Bible. I had another kind of Bible. But I
With a Coptic
believed
on them.
not in the
Yeah.
Bible. I believed in the power of self. The person reading the Bible is the one that God is talking to. God is not talking to me from pages from a book. God is speaking to me from my own being and within me. And that's where the kingdom of God is. So if I believed, am I going to talk it or am I going to do it? And that was my thing. And so earlier on in my life, if coach was like, hey, who such and such me? Who such and such me? I started getting privileges for accountability and I was rewarded and I was incentivized for being accountable. I've always been a leader. I've always took and fell on the sword. I've always stepped out and been sacrificial. And so that sacrifice leads me to where I am in these relationships saying, this pattern persists. This pattern persists. It's me. And I feel better knowing that I was doing something versus they were doing something because then I would be a slave to them. And I don't like slavery. I don't like enslavement. I don't like chains, nor do I like whips. Okay. I don't like anything that keeps me hindered from who I am. And if it's inside of me, I'm going to cut out my eye. I'm going to change myself before I start trying to change a man. And a lot of women try to change a man versus changing themselves because they don't want to be accountable. So you're sick. You're not well. And so I wanted to be whole before I became a wife. I wanted to be whole before I became rich. And so Jim Rohn, excuse me, he said that someone taught him this, but he says out of his mouth, this gentleman was like, what do I do if I get $1 million? And he said, you better become a millionaire. So
Mm.
the significance of being a thing and having a thing are different. And so for me, I am accountable. Therefore, I be accountable. And when I'm accountable, I can start to change the narrative and manifest and bring about things in a way that's a little bit different. So now that I'm aware, self-aware, and I'm God aware and divinely aware of what the pattern was, and it wasn't insecurities. It wasn't rejection. I had an acceptance problem.
Oh,
I'm tall. You're tall. I'm 6'4", 6'2" to 6'4" in heels. Uh, I don't have, surgeries, and I still have the things that people pay for surgeries. Uh, and
natural.
and and I'm a good, happy, go lucky person. So men should be attracted to me. That is okay. But what are you really going to do after you reach that surface? What are you going to do about the woman on the inside? And so I said that to say that I have to now be accountable for the woman on the inside because I have been good about the woman on the outside. So I think a lot of women are really good about the woman on the outside, what people see and the reflection that they see. But a lot of women won't go inside to figure out what makes me tall in my personality. What makes me beautiful in my heart? What makes me, whatever men say about me, oh, you sexy, you fine, you this, you that. What makes me all those things on the inside? What does it matter that a man thinks I'm fine if he's gonna cheat on me with the next fine woman? There's a lot of tall women, especially in Dallas. Everybody's tall. So what is it gonna do? My AKA so-called competition. And John, I have a question for you, Mr. Podcast. Ask all the questions.
I'm here
Okay.
for it.
It's kind of tough because you have a beautiful, gorgeous wife of 16 years, but
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
let's put her
Yeah.
there, not aside. We're going to put her in there. There's
Okay.
10 beautiful dimes. All of them
Yeah.
have six figures and above. All of them have
Okay.
degrees. All of them are drop dead gorgeous, powerful women, good mothers, good this, good that. They are
Yeah.
amazing. They are perfect. You get along with them. You're compatible with them. Not just communication. We know comprehension has a lot to do with everything.
Hmm.
How do you choose?
All right. So I'm going to start with I would never be in that room.
The answer. That's the answer.
I have no reason to be in
There's
that
nothing
room.
else. There's nothing else.
Right? Like, start there.
There's nothing else. There's no other answer.
That's
Okay?
facts.
Why? Because you already know. That's it.
Listen,
So
like, there's no reason to be there.
I said that to say, if all things being true, and most men would answer that rightfully so, and that's the truth about how men would choose their mate. You don't have one. You're single though. Remember this. You're single, and you get in that room. You're single. Everything goes in
All
that
right.
room.
So hypothetically, I'm single. Yeah.
Hypothetically,
Okay. Okay. All right. So I'm in this room. How do I choose? Well, first of all, I'm not going to make the choice in that moment, but I think if they're all dimes, we're compatible, all these things, it really comes down to what are your values? Who are you at your core? What are your aspirations? What are you striving for? How have you unlocked who you are and who you're supposed to be? What work have you done on self? There's so many questions and criteria that go beyond the aesthetic.
as a married man, don't go in the room. As a single man, how you
Yeah.
show up in that room is going to start to differentiate you. How you show up in anger, how you show up in frustration, how you show up in good times, bad times, all the things that you're going to choose me by you being whoever you are. So I don't even need to worry about the competition. So I think
Right.
sometimes being accountable,
Right.
back to the accountability. The
Right.
reason why I chose to be accountable is because to me, I'm in a world full of dimes. I'm in a world full of powerful women. I'm in a world full of what we would call competitors, which as women, we don't compete, we complete each other. But because of the competition of women, I already know that men are going to have a hard time choosing, right? So with that being said, why not just start with accountability for me? And that
Yeah.
sets me apart from a lot of people, men and women, black and white, poor and rich. And so I was just like, yeah, I think we have more power than we lead on. So with that being stated, I chose to be more accountable because I kept having the same story. And that's not on them. That's on me.
Beautifully stated. And I think first of all, I'm sitting there listening like this is gonna hurt a lot of folks in a good way, right?
They'll be all
Well,
right.
listen, truth shall set you free, and it's also painful. Truth hurts, as they
And
say.
you know what I say, John? I say that the truth doesn't hurt. It's all the lies you believed along the way that hurt.
Man, come on now.
The truth feels real good, and you know that too. The truth, it feels amazing, but all those lies that you believed along the way hurt you a lot. And
For sure, for sure.
and
Well,
yeah, but that to me, that's why, AKA, the truth does hurt. I agree. I subscribe to both, but truly, I subscribe to the fact that someone lied to you. And like I said, I don't have a rejection or all the things. I don't get rejected, but I had an
mhm,
acceptance issue, and I didn't accept myself for who I was. I didn't accept myself for who God wanted me to be, rather. And I always ask
mm,
God, like, am I in your will? Am I aligned with you the proper way? Am I doing what you wanted me to do, or am I doing what I want to do? And I would
right.
say a lot of the times, a lot of my life, I was doing what I wanted to do.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah, and
There's
that
there's
creates
that.
experiences. No, but those experiences, right, then
You're gonna
lead you
call them
to periods of
experiences, huh?
they
Hell.
have to
You
be.
go through
Listen,
hell.
I that is one perspective for sure. But to that point, right, you learn what not to do. Right. You know what I'm saying? So those experiences are lessons, right? That hell
But
is
who wants to
the
keep
pledging
lessening,
process.
John? Like, who
No, no,
wants
no.
to keep lessening?
That's crazy. That's called
It's
insanity,
insanity.
actually.
It's insanity. And it's
That's
like,
insanity.
listen, I'm graduated. I always tell people my birth certificate is my PhD, baby. And I read my birth certificate a lot to be reminded. That's me.
Hmm.
That's my thing. But it's like, I don't need society and a system to tell me who I am. I don't even need the Bible to tell me who I am. Even in John chapter 21, it said all the books in the world couldn't contain what God has for us. And Jesus says, you pour over the scriptures thinking they can save you, and all they do is testify about me. Like, what are y'all looking for? Go inside yourselves. Are you people crazy? Like, anyway, my point is saying that it's like somehow I think I fed into society, tradition, culture, religion. I became a statistic. I started becoming worldly versus who I am in God. And that's why I went down what I went through. And once I accepted that, that's when God started opening up more doors and allowed me to be single, which turned into it's funny because I don't even know if I want to. We'll probably talk about it
No,
off
no,
camera.
no, no, no. Mm-mm. This is up
Okay,
front. We gonna keep
the
it funky.
first time the first time I was in the company of a man was on my birthday.
What? Huh? Like what year?
You were there.
Wait, hold up, hold up. Let's clear this up, folks.
I mean,
Hold
okay, okay. The first time that I've
clean
been
this
out
up.
in a okay, the first time I've been out and about, the first time I've been in the
Okay.
arms of a man, touching a man, holding hands with a man, being around a man for a year was on my birthday.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so now
Okay. Okay,
you've caught
now
up.
oh,
Right.
okay. Wow.
Right.
In a year?
You were there. You were there.
Well,
You witnessed it. No, you
I was
didn't
in
know that, John.
proximity. I didn't know what was
Right?
going
Not
on,
there.
clearly.
When I
This
say
is my
there, y'all, for
surprise
the
face.
audience, we were at a restaurant.
Keep it
We were at a
elevated.
restaurant. Let's be
Thank you.
very clear.
Lots of
Let me
people.
be clear.
Lots
We
of
were in
witnesses.
public, fully clothed. I'm just we're
There was
we're not talking
Nigerians
about
there. There
yeah, yeah.
like
It was a public event. public events with an S. But my point is,
Yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
was my first time entertaining, looking, talking, touching, allowing any man for a year.
Okay. Wow,
Right.
that's a major step. Like say more. What led you to
What
that
more do I
comfort?
need to say? You
Well,
did it. What you mean? It's your fault. The hell?
didn't do anything.
You
No,
did it.
just funny enough, now that I'm thinking back, I'm oblivious to a lot of shit because I have no dog in the fight in the single world, right? So I'm sitting there and we're all at this table. I won't name names or say anything, but at some point Omai turns and she looks at me and she's got this look like this confused, like look at me dead in my eye, like you did something. This is, and
You
she's
did
saying
this.
this without saying it. She's like, you did this, didn't you? I'm like, did what? I don't know
You
what's
did it.
going on. She's like, you did. I didn't do anything.
Yeah,
What
you
I
did.
always
And
say
what is
is,
your name? Tell everybody what your name is in my phone. Let's talk about it. Yeah. He, hail. He, hail.
uh,
Yeah.
I won't. I'm not putting that out there. You can put it out there if you want to, but I'm not putting that out there.
I'll save it for the next interview.
Yeah, y'all got to come back to hear, hear this name in her phone. But all of that to
Yeah.
say, when the right energies get in proximity, things happen, right? And that's good, but you were open to an experience. Like you just coming out that night wasn't on your bingo card.
Huge.
So
When I say huge, like, so John and I were scheduled to meet maybe even 3
it's like a
weeks,
couple
maybe
days.
even a month later. It was
Right.
not in our, of course we wanted to connect, but it was not in the stars as far as travel and experiences go. Thank God for Brittany Cook, excuse me, because Brittany Cooks is who
That's
I
right.
was with. But Brittany
Right.
Cook
Which is
for
also
having
crazy.
the speed dating event
Mm-hmm.
on
Same
my
type of brand.
birthday. That was pretty amazing.
Uh, yeah.
I
Like,
intended on John, my birthday was going to be celebrated the next day on Sunday, the 7th, because I wanted to go to church. I wanted to go to brunch, and then I wanted to kind of go hang out somewhere. That was what I wanted to do for my birthday, was go to church, go to brunch, and then go hang out and whatever, right? I'm the kind of woman that likes to kick people's butt in spades and Monopoly. Let's be clear. Slam some
oh,
dominoes. I'll do a
oh.
house party any day. So I could have just done something inside. I had no intentions of being out and about whatsoever, but everything kind of aligned. And so with that, that's what had me to be a little bit more open. I'm turning a new age. I'm wrapping into this idea of being an adult. I'm also wrapping into the fact that about 2 months down the line, this is about around the time that I became single from an engagement, a public engagement. And therefore, this is my first time being outside, period. So I think I was more open to the openness of the season rather than the guy. But my point is,
Hey.
you were a witness, a blatant witness to a single woman coming back online. Like
Mm.
you physically lived a single woman coming back online. And I would even ask you, how did you feel? How did you see me? Or how did you? I know you didn't see everything because John was minding his own grown adult business, y'all. But what I'm saying is he happened to be in the vicinity, even though he was
Yeah,
doing his thing. He was even speaking at some point at the event. So he didn't know what the hell was
that
going on with
happened.
me. But from what you witnessed, how did I do?
Sure. Yeah, look, I mean, you're the consummate, professional in the sense of you carry yourself well, you are classy. And mind you, y'all, this is the first time we're in space, right, together in the same space. And I'm just, evaluating the room. There's a bunch of single speed dating, and Omai walks in and like y'all gotta like see her to know. Like she stops the record scratch and stops when she comes. It's like and everybody head turns. And, and so, you carry yourself with an energy and a confidence that I think commands attention, but not jealousy or envy, right? And some women
That's
walk in
good.
trying to get the jealousy and envy by just right by the way that they look. And that ain't you. Point being, I did recognize that there was energy exchange for sure in a positive manner. And, you know,
Did you recognize it?
I saw some things and I was like, oh, okay. Well, cool. But at the same time, I'm not really reading into it because you're cool. I'm cool. Everybody's cool, having a good time. We're eating, we're drinking, celebrating. And that's what I took from that. And wherever wherever you were going, wherever the energy was going, I didn't see anything that was like, maybe this is
Questionable.
off. Right.
Yeah.
Like I didn't,
'Cause
and I didn't,
I didn't feel like it was off, and I'm grateful that you were there. I guess my
yeah,
point in having you assess that is because, you were there, and
sure.
I'm more comfortable with group dates, which is something that I love about Upfront. I love the
Yeah.
fact I am so comfortable. There's apps, John, Imma tell you right now as I'm
Talk to
looking you
me.
in your eyeballs, there is no absolute way no man would have been up on me like that by myself.
That, hello.
Okay, and what you don't know about your sister, what you will learn about your sister is she
Yeah.
had on a bodysuit, she had on an undershirt, she had on a bra, panties, a body waist trainer, shorts. Your sister
Yeah.
had on shorts,
Brinks
pants,
truck.
yeah, pants, a belt. John, let's keep it going.
Ain't
Long
nothing
sleeves
going
and a
down.
turtleneck.
Listen,
Sister girl was dressed and
in
underneath was
September
padded up
in
because you're
Dallas.
not going nowhere.
And
Love
she was
you,
cool as a fan, cool as a cucumber,
baby.
wasn't sweating at all.
What you're not gonna do is get nowhere near these body
Yeah.
parts. These
Listen.
are annual body parts. They have not been touched for a year. Honey, ain't no way. Okay? So what I'm trying to say
No, that's
is
right. I know that's
whatever
right.
happened, if I was
Yeah.
alone, there's no way I would have been that open because that wouldn't have been my comfort zone, knowing what I know about myself now. And because I am more self aware, because I do accept myself a little bit better, I'm too happy, too nice, too kiki, ha ha ha, too kind, to all the things, too touchy feely. I'm too everything for me to be alone on my first sets of encounters with men. So the fact that Upfront offers those group dates for people like myself, and some other people may need like that wing person or just that environmental push or
That's right.
whatever. Some people may be a little bit introverted, ambivert. I'm an extrovert, but I'm extremely shy, believe it or not. As overt and as direct and aggressive I am,
Yeah.
I needed the help. And so that's what
Yeah.
helped me to be that way because you would have never known she's not been in the streets for a year. Not that night. Not that night.
You enjoyed the fullness of your celebratory
Every morsel of
experience. That's all
everything
I'll
that
say.
happened.
That's
Yeah,
all
I
I'll
was
say. And
outside.
that's
I
you
was
would
outside.
all the way outdoors. The cool thing is in what you're saying, and I think I'm glad you brought up front because we are very much about creating healthy experiences
Yeah.
in
And it
organic
was. Yeah.
situations, right?
Yeah.
And so that unto itself, I think there's a lot of a lot of other apps, a lot of other entities that are creating events or curating experiences for people to get together. And I've been witness to these, and I'd love your take on this. In fact, I think the weekend before, no, the night before, uh, me and a choice gentleman were out, and we were out at this event where it's like six figure singles. It's networking, but it's also a party, a celebration. It's a black tie affair, I'd say formal affair. And I'm watching these people who on paper should be getting together, right? Connecting, introducing, there's chemistry, something. Nobody's talking to each other. Like they just looking good, sitting amongst themselves. Brothers over here talking to a group of brothers they came in with, meeting each other, networking with each other. And you got like 60 sisters sitting three to a table, all talking to each other, scrolling on their phones at an event where everybody was vetted. So I'm still trying to figure out how it is that people are out here putting themselves in the way of opportunity and then getting in the room and no engagement. I mean, is it like social skills? Is it fear of rejection? Like, what's your take on that?
Well, have you ever
Because I'm
noticed
confused.
how it's very confusing because it's not of God. And God is not the author of nobody's confusion. But have
Mm,
you ever noticed that foreigners, let's say Asian communities or Indian communities or even African communities, can come to America, start a whole shopping center, build out, and we're right here in America and we don't have half the things that they have. You'll
right.
notice that at an Asian restaurant, the little kid is doing the stuff in the back and the uncle is doing that, the elder is doing this and doing that. And they'll even hire, Hispanics and things of that nature to work in the kitchen, and things of that nature. You'll see other cultures come to America and capitalize on American this and oh well they give them money and they do this and they do that and it's like we live better than half the world at least minimum without being dramatic we live better than half the world. So why is it that these groups of people come into these events and talk amongst themselves and be amid themselves is because they're programmed. That is a program. It's like if we walked into the Matrix and these are like agents of the world because how in the hell because you met me you know good and well if I had come to that event which I should have come John if I had came to that event
Uh,
baby
it'd have been
you'd have been like
different.
oh I'm sorry excuse her sir oh I'm sorry sir I'm sorry because
Don't
what
mind her. Don't mind her.
don't mind. No. She's just, this her first time out in a minute. You'd have been having to make concession for your sister because what
Yeah,
the hell? I didn't
right.
even have to like you. I think even at the speed dating event, I sat down with an albino man who's not my type. He was an older gentleman, gray bearded, somebody I would not date. And we had an excellent, amazing conversation. And then when I sat down with the gentleman, we had a great conversation. Listen, I'm out here. What are we doing? Because even if we don't get together in a relationship, we still may be able to help each other in business, or you may know someone that knows someone, or maybe you're the guy that has that thing of like a company or a connection that I might need. Like even in
Mhm.
networking, period. That's why I don't like networking events. I just think that people are programmed. It doesn't have a lot to do with social skills as much as it has to do with psychological skills. And I just believe psychology teaches people to be comforted in themselves and allow themselves to play victims. Because if you were there for what you were really there for, no one should have been in no one's face that they knew. You should have been talking to other women that you didn't come up with. If you're a female, you should have been speaking to every male. 100% of every male would have got dealt with if I was there. I'm telling you right now, 100% of every male, the janitor, hear your sister good, the building owner,
Doorman.
the doorman, the police
Yeah.
officers outside, the valet dudes, 100% of everybody there would have got. I'm not wasting my time coming out. It's $200 to go outside the house. It's $300 to $400 to go outside the house.
Mm.
What are we talking about? Are you crazy? Nah. So
Just throw your
I
money
think it's
away.
programming. And I also think that people are comforted in their own stories. They're okay where they are. And the higher you get in money, sometimes comfort is a little bit different because you do make
Mm.
enough money or you say you do. And so you're not really looking outside of yourself. Because even myself, I'm retired. I don't have to work for another dollar if I don't ever want to. Do I when opportunities come? Absolutely. Like I told you, I have 5 investment deals I do a year. I haven't done one yet. So I have a bunch of free range if I wanted to do whatever I want to do. So I think I'm comforted in that because I'm okay. And so maybe those people in those rooms, and that's exactly why they'll go Captain Save them. Because I bet you what, if Sharika was up in there, Sharika was like, where the Six Smith Brothers at? Sharika would have been up in their face. Because Sharika knows bills are due on Mondays and Thursdays and the 1st and the
Oh,
15th.
yeah,
Sharika would have
Sharika.
understood the assignment.
Shouts out to Sharika. Go get what you need, Sharika.
And then a man is gonna be like, dang, she was fine. She came up to me. She made me feel good. She boosted my ego. She rubbed on my chest. She made me feel like I had muscles, even though I don't. Sharika made me feel like a man tonight. And I like Sharika. And Sharika gonna get that business.
Yo, who are you? Who are you?
Just bring
I
me to the
love
next
it.
one, John. Bring me
I
to the
love
next
it.
one.
Listen, we're gonna have to do a part two because my God, today we we might get YouTube all upon us after this episode, man. But listen, there's so much more there. There's so much more there, and I think there's some things. Even as you're speaking, I'm sitting there thinking back, like people are comforted. There's a programming aspect of it, right? Like there's a notion of I'm not supposed to approach a man because he's supposed to approach me, but we're in this space together where and I think what happens if my honest outsider's perspective is there's so much pressure put on both sides to
That's true.
engage, and then
That's
for
fair.
this right, and somebody might be coming with intentions, somebody might be
It's fair.
coming with
Yeah.
different intentions. But I
Yeah.
think what ends up happening is that that pressure of an outcome rather than just saying, "Hey, if I just had a conversation with you with no agenda, who knows where that might go?" And it may
That's
not go
good.
anywhere, right?
That's
But I
good.
think
Yeah.
nobody's giving people the permission and the encouragement to just go in and have an open experience and talk to somebody you don't know with no agenda.
That's good.
Imagine what
That's really
happens.
good. That's really, really good. Well, when you put a title on it like six figure singles,
Well, I mean, there's a
then
little
you
pressure there.
also, yeah, you also add an agenda because everybody I know with six figures has a lot of bills. They have to keep up a lifestyle. Everybody I know with
Ooh,
six figures.
also
Everybody I know with
programming.
seven figures have a lot of bills. Eight figures, nine figures, 10 figures, not so much. But between six and seven figures, you have bills and they're due. They're always
Legit.
due. The rent's due. I don't care what people say. The rent, you may pay it once a month, but it's due every day. The rent's due
Mm,
every day. Financial advice, boom, boom, boom. There, $1 million right there.
mm.
Listen, the rent's due every day. And if you paid it every day, you wouldn't have to pay it for 30 years. But my point is saying that is I believe strongly that if we remove the label of six figure singles and we said something simple as upfront singles, right? Let me just
Just
go.
wait.
Let me
Just
cook
wait.
a
Go ahead.
minute.
Go ahead and go.
Let me season this
Listen,
chicken.
chef on, chef, chef.
Let me put the greens on with the neck bones. So this is the deal. If we simply let everyone know, even if you called the event open, if you would have changed the name, then because if I know you make six figures and I make six figures, I don't feel like telling you how I make the six figures. To me, that's corporate money. I mean, or you have a smaller business that's doing okay, right? If you're profiting six figures and you're making six figures, you're doing pretty good. I guess I can say that. But my point is that's corporate money. So you're dealing with corporate people. So you probably want to remove the label off of it because if I come, even if I was a boom shika, and I knew it was some brothers that made money, I have an agenda. I mean, I already have an agenda. And you can feel when people have an agenda. And that's why, even when I met with you that night, I didn't feel like, even though it was a speed dating event, I didn't feel like there was an agenda. And the gentleman that introduced himself to me was like, "Hey, I know who you are. I've been watching you." Like, boom, I'm just going to put it out there. Like, everybody was kind of transparent. Like, you knew why you were there, whether you wanted to be there or not, and a lot of us didn't wanna be there, uh, because speed dating is weird, but the point that I'm making is that we kinda had an understanding that we were coming to this event where there were singles, so just saying singles already puts you in that limelight, but when you say stuff like six-figure or seven-figure singles, I that is gonna put a nuance on the connectivity of what we have, and even I'm gonna be looking at the other women like, "What you do, sis?" The conversations are just not gonna be genuine to me. So I think that
Sure.
might have something to do with it because I saw what you sent me and it
Mm-hmm.
was gorgeous. It was high
Oh,
class.
very
It
much
was
so.
it was nice. It was really
Yeah.
nice. So I just think that
Yeah.
it's programming. But yeah, we gotta do
You're
some more
absolutely right.
events. I can't wait to do
Yeah.
some upfront events.
Oh, for
Give me
sure.
the
Like,
microphone, John. Give me the microphone.
look, MC, oh my, I love it. Look, we very much intend to curate. Like, this whole summer for me was about observation, seeing what singles are going through when they're in spaces that are supposed to be designed or curated for them to connect with each other. And I was just, no judgments, but I really got a good look at the upfront demographic and the events that are being offered to them or the experiences being offered to them. And I'm seeing opportunities where, look, to your point, if the name is starting on the surface level of status, of
Mm,
income, then you're going to bring the mindset in of, okay, well, yes, everybody here had to be vetted, fine, but we're
mhm.
we're starting off on something superficial, right?
I
Because
agree.
how much you make And whatever your status is speaks nothing to your character, your values, your aspiration, right?
At all. Yeah.
Right.
And
So,
some of them
so
are worse because they know they have money, so they cut up and act a fool, women and
that
men,
part.
both of them. Yeah.
Exactly. So no, we're we've had ideas of doing things like, accountability parties, right? Or, right, prove accountability by showcasing a flaw, insecurity, or red flag about yourself to get admission. Like there's, or the fresh face idea, which I absolutely still love, and I think we're going to do. So, ladies have to show up fresh face, no makeup, dressed how they would
Well, what do
dress
men have
on
to do? That's not fair. What do men have to
hold.
do? We're
le-
beautiful. Leave us
Chef,
alone, John.
chef, may I cook? So
So
men, men,
y'all gonna
men have
cook.
to show. Yeah, no. Men have to show up how they would dress on a Sunday afternoon, chilling at the house. Now, hear me
Really?
out. Now, the rationale. Now, I know nobody's gonna come. All sisters be like, I ain't going to that. The rationale is, let's say you went to this event that was black tie, formal affair. You're done to the nines. Had the makeup artist come through. The dress came. Brothers went and got the shit tailored, fresh cut, all that. Cool. That image that you are portraying to each other is one night. I want you to
One
see each
night
other. I,
only.
I want you to see each other how you're going to look for the next 30 years. You're going
What
to see
fun
each
is
other
that?
less dressed up, less pretty, less, handsomed out more than you will see each other dressed up. I can't tell you how many times me and my wife dress up in black tie or get dressed to the nines to go out. I can't, I could count on one hand how much that happens in a 5-year span. Not because we don't like to go out and do nice things. Point being is that we live life and we do life day in, day out together. And that's fresh face out the shower and some bummy shit wearing around the house on a Sunday. So I want
Well, you
people to
know
get
what's
past
funny?
the superficial.
No, that's good because Viola Davis said that everything is cool until you get to the day to day. And so my first date with my second husband, oh, I was a bad girl. Oh, you you gonna hurt until I put a hurt on this young man. Okay, on that first date. That first date lasted 48 hours because the first, parts of the date, we just didn't want to leave each other's company. So we started at the
Mm,
restaurant. Then we went to the bowling alley. Then we were like, oh, let's go to this after hour spot. Oh, let's go back to your home. And I said, when I enter your home, let me go in there by myself. I want to dig around. I'm going to go through your mail. I want to look under the cabinet. I'm about to go through the groceries. I want to look at the closet. I want everything. So just leave me alone. Have yourself a good night. Because we already kind of knew we had talked for a while before our first date, by the way. We talked for quite a bit before our first date. Something that I think a lot of people don't do. They kind of rush into that first date. We actually spent time with each other over the phone, talking about values, exchanging, blah, blah, blah. Then by the first date, we kind of knew a little bit about each other. So he let me. He was just like, oh yeah, please have a field day. I'm gonna go on the couch and just lay it down. Just have fun. So sometimes it makes you not want to do it when people do that, right? Because it's like, you don't want to fight, you don't want to tussle. He's like, no, 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 have fun, please. And if you see a bill in there, you feel like pay it. Just go through the bills, just do what you want to do.
I love that.
So, anyways, after I go through all of his stuff and I feel like it's safe for me to stay, and I go through everything because I've never done that. I never do that. I could care less. I don't go through men's phone. I don't need your password. You don't have to share location. I literally could care less. But I was doing this as an exercise for myself because it was something out of the box for me. His nickname is low key, so he had nothing to hide, none of that stuff. He's just not even that person. But I just did that night in a whim. And long story short, I come from digging through all his stuff, which he was just clean as a whistle. I'm like, boy, this is too clean. But anyway, I come out, I pull off my wig. I had already wiped off all my makeup. And I was like, this is who you would get. If you were going to ever get anyone tonight, this is who you get. I'm sleeping on the couch. You're going to sleep in your bed, or I'll sleep in the bed and you can sleep on your couch. Because it was $3.99 in the morning at this point. And I said, I'm not interested in anything physical. That's something that we can do down the line. You're sexy, I'm sexy. He's 6'5", I'm 6'2". We're fine. Everybody's fine. So my point in saying that was like, I felt comfortable enough to demask And I
Mhm.
want him to know that this is the real woman you're going to be able to see. And if you like this, then I know you already like the other woman. And so, to your point in the
Mm. Mhm.
demasking, I think it's mandatory that you see that person without the representative being present at some point early on in the relationship. And your event to do that, I think, is critical and crucial conflict and critical mass, because a lot of people don't want to do that. And a lot of filters and all that stuff like that, that dynamic is dying out very quickly. Cause
Let's
everybody, like, even celebrities are stopping wearing makeup and stuff. Like, it's just old at this point. So I love it. I'll
so
do it.
so you heard it first, the demasking party. Oh, by Upfront. Come on, Omai, you get the credit. I'll give you that one. Listen, I have thoroughly enjoyed this conversation, and this is not the last time you will grace the stage at Upfront podcast. So I certainly want people to connect with you. We'll put links in obviously the descriptions, but what do you got going on that people should know about, and where can they learn more?
Well, we have, on a professional level, on my network, and I'm bringing billionaires and millionaires to you, giving you access to them. I don't want to be involved. That's just making that introduction. Sell yourself, do what you do. I don't care. It's none of my business. But my point is, I'm opening up my network to you because I'm tired of hearing that same old story. We don't have access. Yes, we do. We don't work together. Yes, we do. We are struggling. No, we're not. Like, we just need to organize a little bit better and stop being gatekeepers. And so I am doing the whole preventative measures of gatekeeping, and I allow people into my network, which is Omai Network. So www.omainetwork.com, in reference to my business side. On a personal level, if you ever want to connect with me because you need a voice, you need someone that you want to talk to on a professional and or a personal level, then that would be meetdro.com, MEET DrO.com. And that way you'll find more about me. Connect with me on socials. All my socials are listed there. You can Google me. I hate to say that. People are like, you're so cocky. I'm like, I mean, I'm Googleable. I mean, come on. I am. So, I mean, I did the work. I'm out in these streets. Like, I've been out here for a minute. So you can Google me and find out how to connect with me. But if you want to connect professionally, omynetwork.com. And if you want to connect with me just any other kind of way, is meetdro.com.
I love it. I love it. Well, hopefully they flood your network because you are out here absolutely and actually making connections. With that stated, Dr. O, oh me, oh my, I am never disappointed by our conversations. I hope that some of y'all heard a word that you needed to hear, and for sure, um, go back and listen again because there are so many gems. And I think we could have gone so many different directions, but I think exactly where we went is where we were supposed to this evening.
And I
For those of you who are still, for some reason, under a rock and have not signed up for the wait list at Upfront.love, please go ahead and do so. We have closed our Vanguard 1000, so the first 1,000 waitlisters are getting beta access, and we are days away from launching the beta. Everybody's super hyped, and no pressure. I feel no pressure whatsoever. Pray for me. And in the
feels all
meantime,
kind of pressure. That's a lot of pressure, y'all.
a little bit. But yes, in the interim, if you are not subscribed, if you've gotten this far into the episode and you're not subscribed, and the notification bell so you can get updates as to when we go live or when we post, please do so now. Tell a friend to tell a friend. In the interim, in between time, in the meantime, take care of yourselves and each other, and be upfront. Just stay upfront. Get upfront. We'll see you next time.
You've been told inner beauty is truly worth more than gold. Love attracts love, you can see this too, but that depends on the lens that you're seeing through.